So we're going to be starting with a pine board that measures 4 feet by 10 inches, and then we covered it using some black Wise Owl paint. Now this pine board can be found at Lowe's. They are pre-cut to this size, 4 feet by 10 inches, and they cost about $7 to $8. Now once that was completely covered, you're going to let it dry, and then taking some Antique Villa Wise Owl paint in a small 4-inch foam roller, we rolled the Antique Villa on top of the black paint. Now in this step, we are not looking for full coverage. We want the black paint to peek through the Antique Villa. And these foam rollers we also get from Lowe's, and you can also find them on Amazon. Now once the Antique Villa was completely dry, I took a 220 grit sandpaper and just gave it a nice quick sanding. This just helps smooth out the paint. And you can distress it as much as you want, and the more you sand, the more the black will pop through. You want to get rid of any dust from the sanding, and using a Gen foam brush and the 1 hour enamel clear, we applied it on top of the board. Now the 1 hour enamel clear comes in either a matte or satin finish, and once it was applied, we want it to dry. And once you allow for proper drying time, we then took our welcome stencil that we get from Hobby Lobby. You could find this right on their website, and we placed it on our board. Using some painter's tape, we held it down, and using a foam roller and some black paint, we rolled on top of the stencil. Now here you just want a very small amount of paint. You can see that we load onto the roller and then load off onto a paper plate before we roll over our stencil. And then you can lift it. And then taking a small art brush, we just like to connect the letters. Now before applying your transfer, you want to make sure the board sits for a few days after you've painted and applied the 1 hour enamel clear. And I took my Wondrous Floral 2 Redesign Decor transfer, and I just cut it to the size I needed to fit the bottom and top of my board. Now these transfers go a long way. You can just put the extra pieces you cut to the side. And you're going to lift the transfer from the protective white backing, and you're going to lay it where you want it. Now once you lay it down and rub, you cannot lift it back up. Now you're going to want to keep the protective backing to the side, because I'm going to cut any extra pieces that are hanging off of the board, and you can put them back onto the protective backing. And I like to take a cloth and give it a nice rub. Now each transfer also comes with a wooden tool that you're going to use, and you're just going to rub on the transfer, and we like to start with the edges. And as you rub, the clear sheet will lift off of the transfer, and the transfer will be stuck to your board. And then once that's down, you're going to take your cloth again and just rub over it. And then we just flip it so we move to the top of the board, and we are going to do the same thing. You're going to remove your transfer from the protective backing, place it where you'd like, and remember, once you place it and rub, you cannot lift it back up. Remove any excess, and you can save these for other crafts. And then you take your wooden tool and rub. And as you rub, that clear sheet will lift as your transfer sticks to the board. And there you go. Now you want to take your cloth and you want to make sure you rub it. And this is important to help it stick and lay nicely. And I just love the colors in this transfer. You could find other transfers on our webpage. Look how pretty that looks. And then you're going to let this sit for a day or two before you move forward to the next step. And now the next step will be giving it a top coat, and this is the 1 hour enamel clear. And you're just going to apply a nice coat. And there you go. Now you have this nice welcome board. And guys, we have other transfers over on our webpage, and paint products can also be found at our webpage on chalkitupfancy.com. And don't forget, you can check out some other tutorials over on our YouTube or webpage. Have a great day.